Hello, my name is Cheryl Stoneman, and I want to invite you to join us for a six-part series on freedom from the inner critic, an interactive series. This series is really designed to bring us more in touch with the oppression, basically, of our inner critic, how it impacts us, often in ways that may be felt more in our bodies, such as a feeling of smallness or, a contracting kind of fear around any action we might take or direction we might want to go in. It especially is active when we're being creative in some way, when we're venturing into something new, something that may have some unknowns in it. The inner critic can really get activated to want to guide us in certain ways. Often those ways are very belittling, shaming, use the word controlling. While we may appreciate that the inner critic is a part of each of our psyches, each of our selves or souls, it's really a part of us that can be liberated such that we can draw on more of our actual inner resources that the inner critic isn't really aware of or believe in or does not believe in. Some of those inner resources, such as compassion, awareness, curiosity, strength, persistence, are dimensions of ourselves, our spiritual selves, our spiritual dimensions that actually are available to us in ways that the inner critic is not aware of, as I said, doesn't really believe are accessible to you. So the series really focuses on the liberation that's possible within us as we move away and disengage from this very, what I would say, shaming and controlling part of our psyche, ourselves. In the six-part series, we're going to look at some of the origins and the functions of the inner critic. Why is it a part of us? We're going to look at perhaps how it connects with some of our history, the voices we may hear, or the judgments and attacks that we may experience often are related to some kind of rules or expectations that we took in our development. So we're going to look at the origins and functions of the inner critic. We're going to look at ways we stay engaged, the way we stay in a loop with the inner critic and the judgments, how that can often evoke feelings of smallness, collapse, arguing with the inner critic, trying to convince the inner critic that we're not as bad as the inner critic thinks we are. So there's different ways we engage, and we're going to look into those. And that will be part of our coming towards the disengagement or the separation from the inner critic. As I also mentioned, we're going to look into some of these resources that are within us, and sometimes we call that the journey of recovery, the journey of recovering the capacities and spiritual dimensions of ourselves that were not maybe seen or appreciated in our development. And often those are the areas where the inner critic really likes to bear down in its judgments. You know, you're this, you're that, really making judgments about who you are essentially. And we're going to look into what's the truth of those judgments. What are the truths of those beliefs? So I hope you'll consider joining. One of the real benefits of being a part of the series is that we're not only going to do some interacting with our inner critic and some of the exercises and ways, strategies of disengagement we'll be learning and working with, but also it's an interaction with others in the group, hearing their inner critics, hearing how they're experiencing that, and what awareness we can get, even by witnessing someone else's work with that, is very powerful in this group. So I hope you consider joining us. I look forward to our starting on September 16th. and it'll be a 2-hour session every 2 weeks. So it'll give you time to work with things and practice in between sessions. So look forward to seeing you if you'd like to join us.